Starting, and we're live.
Shouldn't hear that.
We're doing it live.
I forgot about Turn My Head. Did you just remember that one?
You have astonishingly deep catalog on live, Gary.
Oh, yeah, I love them. They're a band.
Oh, so this is...
Ed Chackus. That's it. That's all I got.
Chackus?
Ed Chackus. And then there's The Edge. Oh my god.
Flea.
Dave Grohl.
It's the Traveling Wilburys of the late 1990s.
Yeah, I'm just awful.
Yes.
Like, Dave Grohl is just moonlighting.
He's there for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Deep pockets.
Hey Jeremy, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's a very spooky Halloween weekend.
Yeah, we watched old Twilight Zone TV shows on Netflix on Halloween night. That's how crazy we get.
Oh, oof. Somebody call the police.
Yeah. It's a
Must
good
be
time.
stuffed. Yeah, I think I napped. Yeah, I
Cool.
napped.
Also
Nap.
spooky.
Oh.
There are
knows?
times when you go unconscious against your will for hours and you don't know what happened.
Yes.
Was the crypt there to narrate your nap? Because that would make it very spooky.
The world of the waking and living is beyond your grasp in this ethereal realm.
On the wall of sleep lies Cole Ross, marginally notable podcaster and Midwesterner who has decided to close his eyes forever.
Oh, that is fun. Yeah. So we're here for this. Sorry we're a little late. It's the October one, but we're doing it in November simply because of the holiday, right?
Nap. Let's just get
Because
out.
of my nap.
Let's take that nap.
Nobody could wake me.
Yeah. Yeah. We considered just doing like a live webcam on your sleeping form and decided against it.
Wait, you decided against it? Because I watched it all night last night. That was pretty
We tried out the podcast. It's for the ultra platinum black levels of Patreon backers who get to watch.
Yeah, it's Patreon Platinum Select. You just go there, enter into the search bar, show me the best thing you got.
And it just shows Cole sleeping.
Yeah.
It's literally like that's your money's worth. Yeah.
Oh man. Why is it that when you said, "Oh, I watched you sleeping all night," my first thought was the Japanese?
I don't know.
That's a very interesting question. Is why? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And what I'm playing with this month, it is a wrapper for 100 postcard stamps. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Gary, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm exiting some stuff to see if I can't get more internet in my pipes.
Yeah.
Fine. Just been playing games and stuff. Yeah, doing homework, playing games. You know, studenting up.
Studenting it up. There we go. Cool. Yeah.
Studenting.
Student.
JC's dorky cousin. He's
Hey guys.
half augmented.
I was doing homework. I haven't done homework in, I'm gonna say, at least a decade.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like it doesn't feel like it feels like I should be able to shoot people who ask me to do it. Like, before you come back, no, you don't get to tell me what to do. We're both adults here. Like I'm pretty sure I'm as old as you are, Professor Greer is. So.
You can barely do anything to get me to be in this room, let alone
Yeah,
what I do when I'm outside of this room.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't feel like anyone should be able to tell you what to do anymore. But here I am.
Oh, that's funny. Man, you're right. I would straight up like yell at somebody.
Yeah. Like, I think you should be able to. If somebody asked you, just like, I'm going to need you to write, a research essay about this topic. It's like, well, I'm going to need you to suck my dick. I do not. No. No.
Oh, man.
No. How are you doing, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I also spent most of the day playing video games, doing some couch co-op Diablo 3 with the wife, which was a lot of fun. And other than that, just been work. I do.
Yeah.
Nice. That is the PS3, PS4 version of Diablo 3?
PS4.
PS4. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I am way too much addicted to it. It's crazy.
It's like a different game on the PS4, right? Like you're in real close.
I'm not sure. I've never played the PC version of Diablo 3, so I have no idea what it looks like.
Yeah. Like the PC
it's a lot of
one.
fun, though.
It's like Diablo 2. It's like really zoomed out, but I guess in adapting it for the consoles and the controllers, they bring it in close to make it more like a character action game kind of thing.
Yeah. I know after playing it for a couple hundred hours now, like I don't think I can go back to a mouse and keyboard. Like the game fits so well on a gamepad. So.
I just want to bait you into saying pronouncing Diablo more because with your accent, it's super charming.
Do I say it weird? Diablo? Is that weird?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I'm sure I say stuff weird. I don't know, but it's just different than I've always heard it. It's like an rather than
Diablo.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's okay.
I say y'all instead of like correct English all the time. So.
For all of you.
Yeah. I think everybody loves Diablo.
Yeah. You're trying to gaslight me or something, and it's not going to work.
We're on to it.
Yeah. Typical SJW tactics.
Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to get started with some questions?
Sure. Yeah, and so Jeremy, you've never done this before, Jeremy. We just people ask questions at a certain Patreon level, and then we just answer them, and then we just kind of goof around for 90 minutes.
Excellent.
And then just talk games and shit.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. And I would encourage anybody listening live to submit questions, even if you have already submitted some questions. And this seems like apropos for the first question. Sam Bear asks, do you guys play any games that you know are complete wastes of time? For example, I have 41 hours in Euro Truck Simulator 2, over 150 hours in Diablo 3, and just bought Dynasty Warriors 8 and play those click to make a number bigger Flash games. Yeah.
Well, first off, how dare you? Diablo 3 is not a waste of time. I'm getting valuable numbers. I'm making them go bigger. I can't stop myself.
Well, you're playing co-op with your wife, so that's valuable.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you like my wife, which I'm kind of
still on the fence. Yeah. So Diablo 3, and to a certain extent, Diablo 2 always seemed a little bit weird for me because it's explicitly a treadmill. Like insofar as the difficulty levels are just meant to stack one on top of another. And as far as I can tell, there's no promise of them ever stopping that. So did you just start on normal and now you're on Nightmare or Hell or whatever, or is that?
Well, with the most recent release, the 2.1 patch that they put out on PS4 and Xbox One, they did they have a whole revitalized in-game thing now. So there's an adventure mode where you can actually just go through and do randoms, like they randomly generate little side quests, like go kill 50 dudes and this boss, and then that gives you access to these things called rifts, which are basically just randomly generated levels with a mix-up of monsters. Absolutely no story, which it's not a good game for story at all. So you want to stay away from that. So the treadmill is a lot more interesting than it ever has been. And I played a lot of Diablo 2, and once you got to a certain point, you were just kind of, I guess I'll play through the story again on one more difficulty level. But with this, the rifts and the greater rifts and the things they've added, it makes it a lot more fun grinding for the extra loot. So it's fun, and there's a ton of different builds you can do now. So I get all into that.
Yeah. So you feel like when you approach it with a new build, you're getting something different out of it each time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the game is addicting when my wife is on like Blizzard.net forums and min-maxing a witch doctor build. You can get pretty deep with it. It's probably not as deep as compared to a lot of PC games. I'm not a huge PC gamer, but for what we're doing, the amount that they let you select your skills and the different weird legendary items that alter those skills, it makes it a lot of fun.
Nice.
No.
Gary, how about you? Do you have any waste of time games?
Not right this moment. I haven't had time to waste on games. I'm 3,750 holes into desert golfing, and that's definitively a waste of time. There's no reason to be doing that still.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for wasting time things. Other things will just be homework stuff. And then my perpetual answers to these things, Rebirth comes out in a couple days. I'll spend a lot of time on that, but I don't feel like it's a waste. It's a good game. At work I played Cookie Clicker I tried it and then played it for a day because I could have it on at work. With those incremental web browser number go up things, but it was just because I was playing it at work. I wouldn't have done it at home. So I try not to look down on anybody. I do dumb just sit down and have some fun games, but I tend to I'll go back and just start up a new build or fuck around in Dark Souls for that kind of thing too. Even though that's something that that's a good game, but I probably have mined what I need out of it too. Mm-hmm. So that's. Can
you explain a little bit about what Dark Souls is and what kind of game it is? I don't know. I've never really.
If you ever played an action RPG like a Zelda-like, it's all you're fighting bosses and solving puzzles and getting items. It's really a game about items, puzzles, and bosses.
I just wanted to make sure. I don't know if y'all have done any Dark Souls talk or content, so I just want to make sure we explained it for the listeners.
Yeah. It's like the Zelda of games. It's that. It took over the reins for Zelda after the Adventures of Link.
Okay.
Picks it up. Yeah, we want to make sure we give a proper shrift on the network here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Desert golfing is my answer as well. I have two separate games going, one on my iPad and one on my iPhone, and whichever one happens to be closer at hand is the one that I play. Yeah, so I would need somebody to explain the allure of Euro Truck Simulator to me.
I can kind of see it, man. You know who I want to have do that is our friend Will, who does Backlog Killer sometimes on the website. He likes all those Euro Sim games, and I really want him to write about it because I want someone to unlock that too. Mm-hmm. But he loves those. Anything that's Euro Sim anything, he gets into them. And they're popular. It's a weirdly, and they seem like they should be shovelware, but they're always it's $40 Euro, warehouse. And,
I didn't know they were $40.
Yeah, they're like 34. They're full priced real releases, and they just have this incredibly loyal niche audience. I'm curious about them too. I would love to have somebody sit down and explain what's fun about them because they don't seem fun to me, but I don't mean that in a dismissive way. I just think I'm probably not getting that.
Yeah, I mean it always seemed like flight simulators. Let's simulate this trip across a continent, except in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that. I can see the appeal of it in one sense, but on the other sense, that just seems really stressful to me.
So, yeah, well, you're stressed out by driving.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a driving stress simulator.
Just end up how did I get stuck on the top of a mountain? Does this thing go in reverse?
The only thing I would play Euro Truck Simulator if I could see it being very fun for emergent play if it was co-op, and even more than just crashing into each other or racing. I could see it just being fun, doing a driving thing where you're driving with your buddy and you can talk on a CB. Go explore off-road and shit. I could see that being pretty fun. But I think that they're not really co-op. I think that they're just hauling freight.
Yeah. On the CB simulator, do you have to end every sentence with "good buddy" or else you lose points?
Over.
Okay.
I would end it.
Good buddy.
You start every sentence with "good buddy" and then you end every sentence with "over." That's the way that works.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I just want to make sure. It makes your truck flip.
Yeah, yeah. It's 10 code Quizmaster flashcard Simulator Deluxe Euro Edition.
Yeah.
In his question, Sam mentioned Dynasty Warriors 8. I recently just picked up Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U. Have either one of you played that?
Yeah.
I don't have a Wii U. I have a weird desire to play that game though. Like I kind of liked old Dynasty Warriors game, but I never followed them. Like I played like Dynasty Warriors 2 or something like that, and I thought it was fun. And I could get into like a fan servicey Zelda-y version of that more than I could get into modern Zelda games probably. Like
it is definitely not a modern Zelda game.
Yeah, I've not liked a Zelda game in a long time, but like I think I could get into like, just punching stuff as characters I like, which is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's good. I've never played a Dynasty Warriors game, but that's all of the Zelda fan service stuff, like, and you can just buy it right there on the damn console. So like I just caved and just downloaded it digitally, and it's good, but it's also kind of boring. Like it's just hundreds of dudes, and you're cutting them up, and the game is yelling at you to go cut some dudes up over there now. Like, and I can see how people get into it, but it's not really my thing. So now I have like a $60 game sitting on my Wii U that I can't do.
Well, that digital thing like that's really dangerous. Like I very nearly impulse purchased the 3DS Smash Brothers. Like I don't play games against people. I don't like competitive games that much, but like I just wanted to I just want to see all the guys and see all the stages and listen to all the music and look at all the trophies and just get my nostalgia button pushed. And like I wouldn't have done it in a store, but the fact that I was just kind of bored one night and could just download it if I wanted to. And then I ended up downloading the demo and saved myself. Like I was like, oh, this is fun, but I remember what this is. I don't But like I always get that's like the category of games I always play and go through once that most people like dedicate their life to and learn frame counts and shit like that. And I just no, I just want to play against the computer and look at some pictures and then I'm gonna go lay down, I guess.
From what I've heard,
that's super.
The 3DS version is the one to get though if you're not like crazy into competitive, just because they have a bunch of that like single player challenge kind of like, oh, this is character specific, let's use your abilities to do this thing somebody else can't do kind of thing.
Yeah,
is there another version besides the 3DS version?
The Wii U version's not out yet, but it's coming out.
Yeah. But like it explicitly doesn't have those kind of like character buildy progression-y kind of things. That the 3DS version has.
And the 3DS version even stepped them down from the Wii version, like with the Subspace Emissary thing, which like I kind of liked. Like I thought that was pretty good, dumb fun. Despite being ridiculous. But I did due to downloads last night. I needed to take a break from Wasteland 2 and impulse purchase Lords of the Fallen, which I wanted to play anyway, but I bought it full price, which I don't like doing. But it was just like at home and like had some money and was just like I want to play this thing. And then bought it and felt like an idiot. Not because it's bad, just because I bought a game full price on impulse.
Yeah.
So, I watched your buddy Murph Murphy stream that game for about an hour yesterday.
Yeah, he really dislikes it.
I'm
like an hour in, and I don't dislike it. Like I think it's probably gonna end up being like a fun game, without being anything that much more than that. It does have that. Like it's funny though that you bring up what is it, Diabolo? How do you pronounce it?
Diabobolo.
Because it has that aesthetic. Like everything has big dumb spike armor and everything's like a creepy ghoul thing. Like the aesthetic is super over the top and like not at all subtle in an annoying way. But I'm like an hour into it. I haven't played very much. The combat feels pretty good. Like it feels different than Dark Souls, but it's still a dark fantasy with like considered combat, which was all I was really looking for.
I like that they took a bunch of ideas from Dark Souls and then made them as bland as possible. So like the bloodstain mechanic is literally like when you go and collect your experience, it's like you retrieved your experience. You didn't come up with anything.
Like the name of it is not evocative, but the mechanics of it are cool. Like the experience is awesome, yeah, because the longer it takes for you to get back to your experience, like your souls or whatever, like decrease. So it's a race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is really cool because it's a real serious risk reward thing. And then if you don't pick up your souls, they'll act as like a healing crystal near there and heal you. So like if you died on a hard enemy, you can run back to it and you have the choice of picking up your souls that you lost or having this kind of like buff while you're fighting that hard enemy. There's some like really kind of like elegant mechanical things that it does that I like. not that I think would be right for Souls, but I just like on their own. So like, but evocative wise, like it is not, does not capture the imagination at all.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, this is a crazy winter. So like I'm finding myself. So this is the first year that I've been like PC primary, like PC as my main. And I've bought so few games at full price, so I feel like I'm dipping my toe into Gary's world or Gary's outlook on
Yeah.
most things. So but what that's resulted in is my Steam wish list now has a ton of full price games in it that I don't have any hope for dropping down to the price that I've been comfortable with. So like, ooh, Lords of the Fallen, Shadow of Mordor, Alien Isolation, Wasteland 2, Dragon Age, Inquisition, like all of those. Like this is a crazy, crazy winter and fall.
They will, but they won't for winter. Like
Right,
I bet
yeah.
you, like all those games will be $33 before next summer. Like it's gonna be like 6 months, and then you'll be able to play them all for a reasonable price. So that.
Yep.
You should totally play Shadows of Mordor. By the way, I think both of you would really dig that game. It's really cool.
I like all of its constituent parts,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Arkham and Assassin's Creed. So
Yeah, I'm interested in it. I just again have not bought it because of full priceness, but I will buy it on a sale, I'm sure.
I just sent my copy back to GameFly, so I paid what, like $10 for it this month.
nice. Let's see here. All right. Evan Noggle asks, have you guys spent any time with Spiderweb Software's PC RPGs? They seem like they'd be right up your alley, considering your love of old D&D games. Also, odds are good you all own Abaddon the Black Fortress, since it was in a bunch of humble bundles. Bundles humble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quickly looking up what they've published. So
yeah, I know Spiderweb. Spiderweb is great. I have not got to the end of any of those games, but they're all installed because they're so small. As like my, I'm going to eventually play all these games. And I'm very far into Abaddon, and then got to a hard part and had to stop. But Abaddon rules. I like those games a lot. And the story of that guy is really interesting. There's a Retronauts where they interviewed him, like he was on, and I was really happy about that because he's just this weird cottage, one guy. It's a super small company, and he's just like, well, PC games attained perfection in like 1994, and they never need to evolve past that. And I'm just going to keep making really, really elaborate, system-heavy, old-style computer RPGs. And he's just done it. And they're really good. Like they're really well written. They really have really cool systems and stuff. They're awesome.
yeah.
If you haven't played Abaddon, I don't have an iPad, but I know there's an iPad version. I thought that would get me to play more of it, because it would play really well on iPad. It's like Baldur's Gate, except it turns into a grid-based, like Final Fantasy style tactics combat.
Nice.
Very cool. I might have to check that out. I haven't seen or played any of those games, so I'm always on the hunt for new stuff.
Yeah. I think the one that I've heard of that I think I picked it up really, really cheap on iPad was Avernum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Avernum and Geneforge are the two big series he has, I think.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's really weird. You don't usually associate those big sprawling RPGs with like one man shops.
Yeah, it's just like a dude. I mean, I think some other people work for him, but it's mostly just a guy.
Yeah.
And it's real. We talked about it a bunch of times, but it's a real testament to like being able to do more with less, with this almost entirely like simple difference of voice dialogue. Like they're not that different a game than Wasteland 2 or something like that. Like I mean they are different, but Wasteland 2 I'm playing through. I'm like 30 hours into that now, and it's not so advanced as a game. It just has a lot of voice dialogue, and a stripped down version of that could come out of Spiderweb software if it didn't have voices. It's such a huge expense, and it adds so much size to things. He's really passionate about demos. He's really passionate about like having really meaty like demos of the games that are free that give you a really good taste of them. So he's a really admirable guy. I can't remember his name is escaping me now, which makes me feel bad.
Jeff Vogel.
There we are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I've had Abaddon since like Humble Bundle 3 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you graph the number of games that I have in my library, there's a definite hockey stick before Humble Bundles and after Humble Bundles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Cool. Let us see here. Why don't we look at another one of Sam Bayer's? Have you guys had any good times with emergent gameplay, quote unquote? To give an example that answers a question that my last question raised, the goal of Euro Truck Simulator 2 is painting your truck hot pink, covering it in truck horns, and speeding through traffic cams. So I guess you get the letter that shows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So emergent gameplay, just stuff that happens because the systems interacting with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeremy?
My most recent example is probably Shadows of Mordor, to bring that up again. The Nemesis AI system that they have in there is just, when you hear about it, you kind of think, oh, it's just something kind of stupid. But you get killed by an orc dude, and the next time you see him, he's like, hey, I thought I killed you, and he remembers you, and usually he's a little bit more beefed up, and if you happen to kill him and he runs away in the fight, he'll come back with scars on him with the same name. It's super cool. And the kind of systems, they all interplay with each other. So by the end of the game, you can have orcs that are under your control, that you can have just completely backstab their own war chief captains. I mean, you can do some real interesting stuff.
Well, what would be like something? I think that this is referencing more things like you're not supposed to do. Like those are all things that I remember reading.
Oh, yeah.
More like way into Shadow of Mordor. This is like more like you doing things that are not the point of the game for fun.
Yeah.
Well, I need a couple minutes to think about that one. I was thinking, I guess, I guess you're supposed to pretty much invade people in Dark Souls, so that's not a real good example either.
Well, the gimmick invading stuff that you do is a good example. Like I would consider like that Dark stuff like that to be emergent gameplay. It's like it borders on kind of just griefing, but it's also using systems of the game in ways that are not necessarily intended to be used.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much griefing, which is good.
So. And also it's just rolling. So.
Yeah, like you're ruining somebody's day. Yeah, yeah, that's.
I got an example. I can say an example to give everyone time to think. And I think I mentioned this during an episode of Watch Out for Fireballs, but the first Tony Hawk 2 that came with a level editor, me and my friends would make jousting courts where it would just be rails that would go towards each other, like one long rail in the middle of a map, and then you'd have your little pen. We'd build little pens for our skaters, and you'd have to get up enough speed to get out of the pen to get onto this rail, and then you would grind towards each other, and then whoever actually bailed when they hit lost. So we create this like Tony Hawk's Pro Jousting between the two of us, and it got like slightly more elaborate. Like the walls of the area you're in the beginning would get higher, so like the person who was going faster would have an advantage. So the trick would be to get out of your starting pin as quickly as you can by gaining enough speed to actually get over the lip. And then if you got out first and got on the rail a little bit before the other person did, you'd have more speed and you'd be able to knock the other person off. So it was super fun.
Yeah.
You can also do in Tony Hawk the outside corner piece. So if you're going to have a curved wall, if you put 4 of those outside corner pieces together, it creates just kind of a spike in the middle of the thing, but it counts as 4 corners. So if you grind on it, you just spin really, really fast. And we would do one end would be flat, the other end would be flat, and then we would put those punji pits and then those spikes. And the trick would be to get on one of the spikes where you spin really fast, and then transfer onto another one and kind of skip across the map to get to the other side safely without falling in the spikes. Which is really, really hard, but when you pull it off, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So, that map editor ruled. Like, I love the Tony Hawk Build a Park thing.
That was new in 2, right? Because I remember doing that on the Dreamcast. Yeah. Yeah. So you used up a whole VMU on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
In a similar vein, just kind of like taking a multiplayer game and modifying it, Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
After the SNES one, it became really hard to do this, but actually like setting up like trap or turret races. So it'd be, in a 4-player Mario Kart. I think we did this most on the Wii because we played the most in college, having 3 people go ahead and like post up in a spot. And having the 4th person go, and then basically trying to beat the previous times of everybody else who had done that. So the people who were posted up would have like items, and like, okay, when you hit this, now you're being taken out by that. So it's just a matter of like setting up player-based obstacles to try and stop them from going.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun.
We used to do very specific. Soul Calibur was like a big thing in my friend group back in the day. And like we would play, we all had our special characters, and we would play for hours and hours and hours. But it got to the point where we were so good at the characters, just to give ourselves a challenge, we would create these, like, you have to play, with like, you can't use these two buttons, and nobody can use like these two buttons to fight and things like that, just to give the game some new life. That was always pretty fun.
Yeah. So you were just doing to each other what Final Fantasy XII did to people who tried to play it.
Turn on IA mode and just let it go.
Yeah.
I've never done any of those. Like, I've thought about that before for like those like single character challenge stuff, for like Final Fantasy Tactics, or more or less Final Fantasy games, just because I played a lot of those and know them really well. And it sounds fun to me. Like, I think that you could do it. I was gonna do Baldur's Gate with one character, which I know you can do, and then decided not to when I decided to do the blog, because it would close off a lot of content. But yeah, I like that. I think that kind of counts as emerging gameplay, and I like that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And
Did
I
you
guess
guys
like, even
there was
challenge
a
runs.
LP. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I guess like even challenge runs and Dark Souls would kind of count as such, right? Like placing a restriction on yourself to get a gameplay experience that's not intended for the game.
Yeah.
But, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say there was a Let's Play of Chrono Trigger on the Something Awful forums a while back, where the guy managed to keep Chrono at level 1 the entire game, and he was like he's kind of an expert at the game. He played it several times a year, and just the whole LP was so well written, and like went to just a whole lot of depth. Every fight, every encounter was, okay, this boss has the 27% chance to lead with this attack, so I'm going to do this, and all of the decisions he made to, because apparently it's pretty hard keeping that dude at level 1.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go play American Gladiator, except I'm gonna hold this egg and it won't break the entire time. Yeah. Let's do one from the comments here. If you guys did a WAF-style mini-series covering all the games of a particular series, for example, all the Silent Hill games, which games would you want to cover?
We've talked about this before. I think this is our retirement plan, is to, right? Like, I mean, if we ever totally run out of stuff to do, is to do Final Fantasies.
Yep.
Like, all right. Like, we'll do the Crystal Chronicles, and that'll be our podcast that just goes in order of all the Final Fantasy games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the that's like the Lazarus Protocol.
Yeah.
Once everybody from Software like gets in a horrible plane crash.
Yeah.
God forbid. Yeah, like
it's our whatever we would need to live on Patreon stretch goal.
Yep.
If we could dedicate, like, just make podcasting our full-time jobs and playing video games, or like that podcast is like a $10,000 stretch goal or something like that. Just because it would, like, those games are long.
Yeah, it would need to be more than $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be a lot. So the I don't need to be too, like, we don't have to actually discuss the economics of it. I'm just trying to, like, what would be a reasonable, like, that split between the two of us is still a lot of money. But and we would yeah. So, and it would be like, each episode wouldn't be like Final Fantasy 1, this is the episode. Like, we'd be a couple episodes on each entry, and just take our time, go through Final Fantasies in order, and that'd be fun. Like, I would love to see how that series evolves in a really detailed way, and same way that we do with Bonfireside Chat and stuff. I'd really like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's funny though, for as much as we have like just general like mild disdain for JRPGs, that still continues to bubble up to the top of the list, because I feel the same way. Honestly, like, that would be, I'd like to throw in like special one-off episodes about the spin-offs, like, once those start happening.
Oh, sure. Like, yeah, I mean, I think we would just do anything with the brand. You know, like, it could perpetuate itself longer than Bonfireside Chat, probably. Like, if we started literally doing Crystal Chronicles and shit, tactics games, all the bravest.
Yeah.
And get all the lore of tapping. That stupid fucking game. But, and, like, the other thing about it too, like, the other things that we've thought about that before, is that we kind of came up with other things to cover it. So, like, Silent Hill would be fun to do, but then Cole is doing Hexcrank, so he's kind of got that covered. And, like, I would love to do all of the the Fallout series in that way, but I've got that covered. on another blog thing. So like we're trying to find ways to do that without actually having to do it because it's such a time commitment.
Yeah, definitely. And especially concurrently finding time for both of us to play through those things. Like when we get when we get any kind of big, massive game like that, we have to make other considerations outside of it.
Yeah.
Just to just to go with it. Yeah. I think we're closest to covering all of Shadowrun, right? Like we've done pretty much all of Shadowrun except that Sega CD game, right?
Yeah. I think we have covered every American Shadowrun release on the network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is cool. What if we couldn't do Final Fantasy? What would be another thing that's not covered by either of the blogs?
One that always pops up, and that whenever we play a game about it, I feel this way, is Metal Gear. That wouldn't be an especially like long running kind of thing. Like we could probably get maybe a year or so of content out of it. But yeah, I've been wanting to do a dive on that for a while, especially the earlier games which I haven't really played.
Yeah.
Yeah, or we could do it like chronologically through the series, like after Phantom Pain comes out. It's like, oh, like let's see if this timeline makes any goddamn lick of sense, which we know it won't. But
yeah, that would be. I mean, pretty much any like long-running franchise, that would be a really awesome. Again, like $10,000 Patreon goal. Like definitely, that's all we do is do podcast stuff and play video games. Like, because I could see that being fun. Like that would be really fun. I could see even being fun to go through Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like the later Zelda games, but I'd love to talk about why not for a couple hours. Or even just like exactly. Like I would love to dissect that shit, or even just like something like like the Mario games, like with the spin-offs and stuff, and just really look at the evolution of something in a really slow way. Sounds really fun.
Yeah.
I was thinking that when you guys were talking about Final Fantasy, I was thinking about the Dragon Warrior games. I played the first one. I think I got a copy of it with my subscription to Nintendo Power or something, like something weird. And that was my first exposure to RPG games. And then later I played Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2, hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game, but never played any of them in between. So I'd be curious to see how it got from 1 to 8 in that 10 years, however many years.
It's so weird though, like because that series would lend itself much worse to this idea just because there's been less evolution. And I say that as like a fan of those games, but kind of their niche is that like Dragon Quest VIII plays a lot like Dragon Quest 1. Like they don't like out of the if you look at Final Fantasy and look at Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy is the experimental series and Dragon Quest is the like evolution, like that's the evolution versus revolution series. Because Dragon Quest VIII, like the kind of like back to camera behind where your character would be, group of enemies in front of you, choose your list of commands. Some attack groups, some don't. Like that's been in place for a really long time in that series. They don't move that much. They do some interesting things with systems in like the middle of the series. There's some like generations and stuff like that. And they do some weird like odd protagonists, which is really cool. But they don't do very much with the systems. Like the system kind of remains the same up until 9, I think, and then 9 is different.
Yeah. 9 is the one that's like an MMO made for the Japanese subway, right?
Yeah.
That does sound different than 8.
Yeah. I love Dragon Quest VIII. Like I don't know if I have the time to like put a replay into it, but I love that game when I played it. I've got the controller, like that cute little slime controller up here. I think that game was number 7, but
yeah, 7's really good too. I had a lot of fun with that when I was little. That's still I think the most valuable game I own. Yeah. I don't know. How about like so is that your answer, Jeremy? like
that's probably what I would go with. I've also never touched the Metal Gear series, so I'd be interested in playing that from the beginning. I say with my PS4 and like played the first 10 minutes, was like, what is going on? I have no clue, and just stopped, gave up. So I'd like to go through the Metal Gear series, and then I have only played Resident Evil 4, so I've never seen like 1, 2, and 3. And I have a special affinity for that series because when I worked at Babbage's, people would always call up and ask for Residential Evil. And so I want to go back and play 1, 2, and 3. I think they're big to re-release 1 in some weird, crazy way, so I'm going to be interested to check that out.
Yeah, you should hop on that when it comes out, especially if you have a PS4.
Yeah, and that's the one you should start with because if you gain some goodwill for that kind of the old control scheme and stuff, playing 2 and 3 will be easier.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Martin Pizantian writes in to ask, apologies if you answered this on an earlier live show, but do you have any guilty gaming pleasures that you know to be objectively bad? My weakness, when I had a 360, was Prototype. I knew it was a bad game. Those boss battles! But damn it, just being a total dick to the people around you was such a fun time. Climb buildings, swoop down, explode the streets, smack some people out, eat a person, then nonchalantly walk off. The game was a bit of a turd, but the sandbox kept bringing me back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have answered that before. We can answer it again. And Jeremy hasn't answered it.
Nope.
What do you think, Jeremy? What's your guilty pleasure game?
Oh man, you guys remember NotECEC for the 360?
Is that the one that Tetris guy made?
Yeah, it's a dumb little game, and I just could not stop myself from playing it. Like I'm talking hours and hours and hours of making the little things, and I mean I don't know why I got so attached to a little drop, stuff drops from the top of the screen kind of game, but that was my one, man. It's not a very good game. The music was so bad I ended up subbing like podcasts and stuff over it, but I just couldn't stop playing it when I got my 360 for the first time.
When you first saw that, I thought you said Hexen.
Oh no, I love Hexen. We can talk about Hexen.
Yeah, like Hexen's good, but like if that was your guilty pleasure, like every once in a while I just do a run through of Hexen. Like, oh, all right, cool.
Tell me more. Yeah.
I have more guilty pleasure TV shows than I do video games, strictly because for whatever reason, I can watch bad movies and bad TV shows all day long, but if I get to a situation where I'm playing a bad game, I just put it down. Like I can't force my way through it.
Yeah.
Well, it requires more work by definition. You can't passively play a bad game. Like you almost can, but you can never strictly passively play a bad game.
Yeah, you can't just have to
interact with that.
Yeah. Huh. Like what would you consider to be a guilty pleasure TV show? I was just curious.
Man, I'm so into these superhero TV shows. And a lot of them are actually really good. It's hard to call it a guilty pleasure, but telling like people that I work with that I watch Arrow or The Flash or explaining what Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is, like I watch all that stuff and I just love it. I could watch
to varying degrees, those are all supposed to be pretty good. Like I thought. Like I know that you said that too, but like I'm interested in those. The only reason why I don't watch those is because I don't like watch a whole lot of TV, but they sound cool to me, and I like superheroes a lot. So
yeah, it's interesting. They Marvel is obviously investing pretty big in their whole thing. So like having stuff that happened in Captain America 2 when it was released and have a direct impact on the plot of the next episode of The Shield a week later was pretty cool. Like just seeing that stuff interact in real time like that. But then also I watch stuff like The Good Wife. Like just dramatic TV shows, man. I just can't stop.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like I have a if I'm traveling, if I'm in a hotel or if I'm back home at my mom's house, I'll watch any cooking reality show. It's a competition, and those are all uniformly terrible. There was like one we watched last time. I ended up watching like 7 episodes when I was in Illinois last, where they would give you restrictions, like, and you would buy them and then you could inflict them on people. So it'd be like, okay, you have to make this pulled pork, but instead of pork, instead of like fresh good pig, you have a whole pig that you have to slaughter, or like the only utensil you can use are like those claws that pull up pulled pork, and that's the only thing you can use for everything, so you would inflict these like restrictions on people, and you'd have to like bid for them. Like it was really pretty compelling, but then the people are scum because it's reality TV, so like you hate all of the people, you hate the host, you hate the people through the commercial, but like the actual concept of like, oh, you have to do this cooking thing, but like what is it? One of them, instead of like you had to make peanut sauce, but instead of giving you peanuts or peanut butter, you had like PC or Reese's Pieces, or like peanut butter cups. It's like things like that. Like you instead of fruit and peanut butter for this thing, you get a big thing of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, and you have to use the whole sandwich. Like it's just crazy. So that's a cool story. I can't remember the name of it, but that was guilt. Like I was like, this is trash. I love it. So.
Yeah.
What about y'all? I've never heard y'all answer your guilty pleasure gaming stuff.
I'll go. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in, and this might just be how I feel right now because I just got finished playing visual novel games. Actually, I'm wrapping up Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, just because I wanted to play something on my 3DS, pretty passively in bed, and yeah, I can totally eyes wide open see all the flaws in that series and that genre to a pretty large extent, but I still really kind of fall into them as this you know let's just say like interactive comic book that has a little bit of puzzle and paying attention elements to it, regardless of if it's 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, or Hotel Dusk, or what have you. Like they're probably much better uses of my time, but I still really like those. So yeah, that would probably be my answer.
I think last time the thing like I have a I don't actually like you mentioned it earlier, like I tend not to like Diablo likes in general, specifically Diablo games. Like I will beat the single player campaign of like I beat Torchlight 2 and then I was like, okay, I beat Torchlight 2 and then put it down. But when we did X-Men Legends for the show, like I like those games a lot. I'll play those. I was really happy at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I picked up a copy of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which like I wanted to cover for the blog anyway, but also like those are dumb games. Like it is just going through and punching stuff. Like they're like beat 'em ups. I guess arcade beat 'em ups would be an answer too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm in an arcade, I'll sit down and put like $4 into beating The Simpsons with some strangers or Ninja Turtles or X-Men, and those are not good games. Like I like them a lot, but they're just quarter stealing butt mashers.
Quarter suckers, yeah, that's all they were meant for. But they do have their own charm to them, just like the old Avengers style game.
Oh yeah,
kind of a similar
I
way.
love Captain America and the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really good. Have any of you guys played that Spider-Man beat 'em up?
No.
It's really weird. Like it's super strange. Like it's like the four characters are Spider-Man, Black Cat, Hawkeye, and Namor, and then it has this weird thing. So like who? It's the rest, and then has this weird thing where like it's half closed up, like super close up with a beat up with these very like tall, lanky characters. It's really strange, and then every once in a while it zooms way out, and you have this like little tiny character, and you're like doing platforming and stuff. It's an arcade game. It's really strange. I think it might just be called Spider-Man. But that game is super weird.
What era was this?
Like early '90s, late '80s.
Okay. Yeah, the Captain America and the Avengers game. Forgive me if I've told this story before. Was that was a vital instrument and an important life lesson for me. So when I was a kid, my dad would take me and my brother to a place called Laser Arcade that was in the local mall. And Chris would go over to one side and play all the ticket games, and I would take all my tokens and go over to the other side and play all of the non-ticket games, right? And I sunk an entire night's worth of quarters into Captain America and the Avengers. Just like, oh my gosh, I love this. I'm playing as Iron Man. Great. And then at the end of the night, Chris had a bunch of like, oh, here's Tootsie Rolls and mustache combs, and I didn't have anything, and I was upset. And it's like, well, no, you chose which game to play, and one gets you one kind of thing, and another gets you another kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, but in time will tell that you were right, because it's good to spend money on experiences and bad to spend money on things.
Agreed.
And for Captain America and the Avengers, and he just got a bunch of garbage to throw away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, as like a Marvel dork, like the Captain America and the Avengers game is crazy because of all the weird C-tier villains.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like Whirlwind's Time to Shine. Like that guy doesn't get, the Weather Wizard. What are you talking about? Like that guy doesn't get screen time.
I forget what mechanism they used to make Hawkeye fly in that game, because it had the flying levels, and I don't know what he did. I forget.
It was like a little jet scooter thing, and that's actually from the comics. That's like because the action figure for Hawkeye came with one of those as well. And then I looked it up. It's like when he was in the West Coast Avengers, he had this little flying motorcycle.
Okay.
West Coast Avengers, because we're just having too many supervillain problems, y'all. We need to be a B-team.
It's a little bit more laid back. We have our own speed out here on the West Coast, right?
It's a little bit wacky. It's a little bit Portland. It's the West Coast.
If you want some serious C tier Avengers villains, there's a cartoon that came out within the last few years. It's on Netflix. I think it's Avengers Assemble or something like that. Just search Avengers on Netflix, and man, it is some weird like Gravity Man, like things like that. Just like really bad. And I mean, the cartoon is actually really good. Another one of those guilty pleasures. But they have some serious C tier villains. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Gravity Man makes it sound like they're trying to see if they can get sued by Capcom or not.
Yeah. Or the other way around, probably. Like Gravity Man is probably like a 70s Avengers standby. Yeah.
Nice. Let's see here. Brett Burradell writes in asking, Gary, I've also returned to school as an older dude. Is there a class you've taken that you found particularly frustrating because of your age? I'm taking a biomedical ethics class that's killing me. Taking philosophy with 19-year-olds is not as fun as it sounds.
Yes. Yeah, all of them. I mean, that's not quite true, but like, I'm in a science class right now, and it is like an intro-level college science class, which I want to say that I'm smarter than, but also I haven't done science since I was 17. So it has been like 20 years since I thought about science, because I never use it in real life. And since it's an intro-level science class, it is just full of like super, super young guys. So like on one side, they're really frustrating is like I keep tweeting about them. They're the Beef Boy Jabberjocks, and there's like 7 of them, and all of them, if you put all their necks together, like it would be like a water tower of neck. Like it's just like the thickest muscle boys just sitting around grunting at each other. They all live in like a house together, and then for some reason they're always talking about the Bible, which is very funny. Like one of them was just like, yeah, dude, Revelations. What kind of conversation I miss? So it's like Christian meat hunks over there, and those guys are annoying just because of they're annoying. But I find that other non-traditional students who are idiots are worse. Like people who are older than me are bad because like there's like this old dude who's just like constantly just like I don't even have a Facebook, just like saying it to whoever will listen. Like what is all this stuff? And it's like that's you're not in a sitcom. You didn't just get unfrozen from time, and this is like the 7th time the class has met. Shut up. We all have to endure this. It's dumb. Let's just get through it quietly until it's over. Like, and it's just really, really frustrating. I was like in a group with that guy, and like we split up, and it was like me and Halitosis Boy, and we were on one side, and we did great, and then him and 2 young ladies who I have a lot of sympathy for, and we had to meet in the middle, like measuring these trees in this park block thing, and we got all the way to where they were on the second tree, which is crazy because we're just measuring it with a tape measure, and I knew it was because of that guy. Like just I don't even know what's going on. This is all beyond me. Like just shut up and listen for a second, and it won't be. God damn it, So that's been my experience with that.
Yeah, shut up and listen is advice that is never heeded, especially in a college classroom.
Yeah, I mean it's like it is lame. Like I'm sympathetic to these people who are sitting around loudly declaring that it is lame. It is lame. Like it is lame, as we discussed. Like people giving you homework, it's lame. We can all agree homework is lame. But there's nothing to do about it. Like you opted in, so just no one's forcing you to be here. Just shut up and just take it. That's just endure and endure growing strong. So.
God, any kind of ethics class. So I'm not in this position yet anyway. But I just remember my last quarter taking just modern ethics or something like that, just like ethics in modern situations in order to fulfill a credit requirement. And the sense that I got was in any class that has anything to do with ethics or philosophy or whatever, there's always going to be the person that sits up in the front of the room who thinks that they're going to change everybody's mind about abortion.
Mm.
And that seems to me to be one of the primary pitfalls of anything in that realm of study, which seems useful, seems important for individual consciousness, but man, oh man, is it hard to be in a room with that person.
I took an ethics class at when I was age appropriate, and it was still awful. Or like not ethics, I'm sorry, philosophy class. Because like any kind of I don't know, I just don't want to be around people. I want to learn philosophy, but I want it to be like a one-on-one relationship between me and the tech or teacher or something like that. I don't want to learn from my peers. Like, I don't feel like there's anything I can learn from them. You know.
Yeah.
So that class had a guy who it was right when the Star Wars prequels came out, and compared everything to the Force. Like when we were talking about God, he compared it to the Force. He was talking about like general like cosmetology and like just kind of like the idea of everything, and he just kept like bringing up the Force. I'm like, shut up, buddy. Like this isn't going well for you.
And if it was 2 years earlier, he'd be talking about the Matrix.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jeremy? Oh no.
Oh, we lost Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's internet bleeped. Sorry, folks.
That's Google Plus.
Google Plus for you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jeremy, let's get you back. Son. Cool. Yeah. While he's away, should we remind everybody of Duckstream?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. On November 21st into the 22nd, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time and running to 6 p.m. Pacific time, on Saturday, we're going to be doing a live streaming event in order to benefit the Transactive Gender Center from Portland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to do that in place of our live stream, this live stream next month. So right now, you privileged few who get to watch this because you're Patreon backers. Everyone will be able to look at that live stream. Mm-hmm. And we just don't have the bandwidth to do, that's going to require a lot of planning. So that's going to be how that is. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. We're going to play games. Doing the first shift is Portland branch, second shift is Cincinnati branch. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing a bunch of multiplayer stuff the first night, and then Cole's going to play a game in its entirety the second day. And probably a little bit. Like, do you think that game takes 12 hours to beat, or do you think it's going to be?
No. So my plan, as long as the copy that I ordered gets here and is in good shape, I'm going to be playing through Haunting Ground, which is a 9-hour game, which puts us right up against when David and Dennis are going to be able to show up. And then cool. We're working out some multiplayer co-op stuff to finish out the night strong.
Cool. Yeah. So everybody should tune into that. If you go to Duckfeed.tv/Duckstream, you can check that out. You can donate. It's a super good cause, and we want to, I would really like it if we, really kind of blew them away with this. So it's the first time we tried it, and I'd really like it if everybody came out and did good stuff. So
yeah, and if it ends up being successful, we'll probably start planning more of them.
Yeah.
Jeremy, any college class experiences you want to share? Welcome back, by the way.
Thanks. I'm sorry, my internet kind of bleeped out there. I don't know what happened. I didn't actually go to college. I skipped college and went straight into the workforce. But a large portion of my job over the last 10 years has been explaining really basic software to complete and utter idiots. So the first group of people were cosmetologists. So I was training hairdressers in how to use software, which not a good mix on a majority of the time. And then now it's all guys who work at like water systems. I teach them how to use like our radio read meter products.
Those guys.
Oh man.
Those guys.
Water boys.
They're all super good guys, but they're just not a whole lot of experience using a mouse and a keyboard. So
yeah.
It's always interesting.
Cards is what we like to call those people.
Skill overlap. Yeah. Let's see here.
I shouldn't use the suffix tard. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. It's cool.
Yeah, that's why pencils have erasers.
Let's see here. Brad Carey writes in, were there any games that were close to making the cut for the Wolf episodes? Watch out for Lens Flare. Or other episodes that you guys think you would do if there were more Wolf episodes?
Yeah. Next question. I mean, I think the closest thing we were closest to doing was Arkham City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't a little... Oh, go ahead. What?
I was saying, what is watch out for lens flare? I must have come on board after this.
Oh, no, you're probably. We did some new games during the last year as part of our Kickstarter thing. So they were episodes that you probably heard, but we just call them something different because it works. So
yeah. So it was like part of Operation Wolf back before the Xbox One and PS4 came out, where it was like, oh, we would love to play and talk about these Xbox 360 or PS3 games, but it's not theme appropriate for the show. So we did like Dishonored and Deadly Premonition. Oh man, what were the other ones, Gary?
Alpha Protocol and Crackdown.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got pretty close to doing Arkham City.
And Bioshock too. Maybe Bioshock or Crackdown didn't count.
Yeah, Bioshock didn't count, I don't think.
Okay.
Or no, Crackdown didn't count because that was after we decided Xbox 360 was fair play. I always get a little bit embarrassed whenever I get into situations where I have to qualify what we consider retro.
What's real retro, guys? What's real retro?
It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm saying that to anybody who would actually call us out on it. It's funny too because I would explain like when we met people at PRD and someone say like, "How old do you guys go back? Like, you guys do like, you know, like in television? Like, it usually be like an older dude."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, you know, sometimes it's like Xbox 3. Like sometimes it's a game that came out, you know, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's still pretty retro. 7 years is a long time."
Yeah. Like we had people at the show scoff at us for including Super Nintendo in retro, so it's really hard to like take that under advisement, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a certain class of people who you're never going to satisfy if you talk about anything besides Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and prior Spectrex and.
Yeah.
What else almost made it into our new game series?
Red Dead Redemption, I remember, was one that people asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Amnesia was pretty close. I think we decided to go with Deadly Premonition over that for horror. Yeah. Actually, I can look at the list.
Yeah, there aren't that many more that got considered though. Like that's close to most of them.
People,
close. So.
Yeah. People requested just only a handful of them. Other ones like more recent like. Good. Sorry.
I was gonna say, well, if you want to say like the second part of the question, like what's something new that you'd want to do?
That's really tough. So, like, I would like to. So we did Last of Us on as a bonus level, and we also did BioShock Infinite. Those were like the big games of 2013, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
have you done any Mass Effect games?
Yeah, we really haven't done them though. I don't know if I would want to put Gary through that. Because I know he's not a fan, so
I gave it a shot.
You did.
Like 13 hours is a long time to put into something with it.
It is, yeah, and that's why it's not an issue all fours. Yeah, yeah. Like history is panning out and showing that 2 is really the only really good one in the series. So it's a little bit of a bummer that you didn't get to that, but I can totally understand not getting there. Like I think it'd be interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
What's that?
It could still happen someday. Like it took me 4 tries to get through Dragon Age, and I eventually got through it. So
yeah.
Dragon Age Origins.
Mm-hmm.
So it could still happen. It's hard to say what would be like something new that I want to, because usually the stuff we do get a chance to talk about it, or if it's like indie space, I'll talk about it with Nick, Comrade, and then we did Walking Dead. Like I've talked about The Walking Dead a lot, which is like something I really want to talk about. Mm-hmm. We did that bonus level, and then not by the time this comes out, but shortly, like I did the Short Game guys. They did a episode of The Walking Dead that I did with them. Mm-hmm. And I talked about The Walking Dead a lot. Yeah, it's hard to think of like big kind of AAA games that I'm like, mostly because that's not really my space. So that's more what's at play for me. I would love to talk about the like 3D Fallouts at some point. I have a lot of affection for those games.
Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Dennis from the level was rallying really hard for those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and looking more at the list here, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I think would be a really good one to do as well.
Oh, wait, we did the bonus level on Spec Ops: The Line too, which is another like I just forgot about that. But like, pretty much everything. I mean, I would have liked to. I got to The Last of Us late. I would like to have a chance to talk about that game, but I'm just glad it's covered on the network. Like even if I didn't get a chance to.
Yep. And then LA Noire was another one. Like I push for that one early, before just the consideration with anything like that though is adventure game glut. So.
Yeah. And LA Noire is like the adventure game parts are super cool, but then you also have to deal with a bunch of dumb shooting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I still think there's a lot to talk about with that one though.
There is like the parts that it does. I like that game. Like the parts that it does well, does well. Like it's actually, now that I think about it, it's probably like one of my favorite Rockstar games. Like given that like I'm not a big fan of Rockstar, so much like that and Bully I'm way into. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Like Jeremy, is there like so you have a PS4? Like, is there anything like really good that's come out over the past year that you've played like that is a qualified next gen like really good thing that you think would like bear the treatment that we give it?
Other than Shadows of Mordor.
Other than what?
Shadows of Mordor.
Have y'all played Diablo 3? There's not a whole lot of like AAA next gen games that are kind of unique to the PS4 at this point. It's a lot of indie games that we're getting through PS Plus and stuff like that. I was sitting here trying to think, like Killzone was kind of trash. That wasn't very much fun. This Drive Club game doesn't look like it's going to be setting the world on fire as far as racing games go. I mean, just not. They re-released Last of Us on PS4. You can play 60 frames per second version of that.
Stalling for time, guys.
What I would want to play that is like a new game, and I just want to try it. I just want to play it. It doesn't necessarily need to be like bear the treatment. I actually just kind of wanted to bring this up to see if any of you guys have played the new Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, I played that on the PS4 as a matter of fact.
How is it?
It's really good. Like it's like the shooting is phenomenal. You can dual wield anything in the game. They somehow nail the over-the-top world of Wolfenstein and kind of make it interesting. I mean, and ridiculous at the same time. They walk that real fine line in between. And you get to play the original Wolfenstein during a dream sequence. So, yeah.
I've seen that bit in like a video review thing, and it looks really fun. Like I like the old Wolfenstein games. Like it looked really, really fun. So.
It's definitely like a rental or like a $10 on sale type game. But I played through it and had a good time with it.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's on my wish list. I'm really interested in it. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's do a quickie. Just 'cause I'm curious about it. Brett Burradell asks, have any of you been listening to Serial, the podcast? If so, what do you like/dislike about it? If not, never mind.
I know about it. I haven't been listening to it, but it's been recommended to me.
Same thing.
Are you guys familiar with it?
I'm not at all.
This is the spin-off of This American Life, right? That their one lead producer, Julia Smith, I think, broke off to do. That is more like dedicated, long-form, like pursuing a single story over the course of multiple episodes, as opposed to picking a theme and delivering a variety of stories on that theme.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting to me. I just haven't like my pod. I'm like at peak pod. Like I'm saturated with pod stuff right now. Like I just haven't picked it up yet. And then I also like a lot of my walking around listening to podcast time. Like I put out the record, and a lot of that for me is like after I get things mixed, like kind of sound good. I listen to the songs and do sequencing on headphones while walking around a lot. So that took up a lot of time too to figure out sequencing, which is dumb because it's a shuffle album, but like that's an old habit of mine.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it. I'm curious about it. Like with any show like that, I want to bank up some episodes first. So it's probably getting about time where I'll feel comfortable diving into it.
Yeah. My friend Zach, who recommended it to me, said that one of the things that's interesting about it is that since they are actually doing journalism and kind of figuring things out as you go, it doesn't feel like they're building towards some kind of big reveal. Like it feels more authentic than that, and you feel much more immediate. It doesn't have the kind of trappings of like, like when stories end up on This American Life, like they're really, storified. Like they're very, here's the hook and here's the payoff, like in ways that can sometimes feel very artificial. That's like a big complaint I have about Radiolab, but it also comes up with This American Life as well. And then part of that is that's what the show is. That's what they want to do. It's people doing their jobs, but it also can feel kind of fake, and this is supposed to not have that feeling to it, or to a much reduced extent.
Nice.
So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, I'll probably throw it into the list. Yeah. Let's do another one here. From the comments here, Alan Del Rio asks, since it's a spooky Halloween live show, I want to ask you guys whether you find that games are the best medium through which to experience horror. Let me explain. I find that I never get scared by scary books. I get creeped out a bit, but never have a really visceral reaction. Movies are a bit better at producing this reaction in me. However, games have a massive effect on me. For example, when I played through the first Resident Evil, it was with the sound down and other music playing to distract me. Do any of you, have a game or games that you find particularly scary, and how do you rank games as a medium for being scary?
What do you think, Jeremy?
I don't find excuse me. I don't find games that scary, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's just something about you're part of the action, so that build up and the release of tension doesn't quite exist like it does in a movie or even like a TV show. So I don't get that kind of that tension that horror really wants to build. It just never happens for me. I mean, I'm a sucker for jump scares. I like a good jump scare, and if you can get me to then good job. But actual like real creeping horror, I don't get a lot out of games. So I'd like to see one come and try, and I'm kind of curious about some of these indie horror games that I keep hearing about, but I just don't play stuff on PC, so I don't have access to them. Yeah. What about y'all?
I think games work great for horror. It's one of my favorite genres. I think a big part of that is the interactivity and kind of the helplessness that they bring into it. So since disempowerment is such a huge part of any kind of horror game where they are restricting you in some kind of way or you're just so outmatched, there's kind of that base level uneasiness that plays at the part of you that is really scared of failing in a game. Not like scared, but just kind of like, okay, there's this tension. What do I have to do to succeed? What do I have to do to make sure I don't, kind of fuck myself? And that kind of primes you to be really open to, any of the rockier stuff that happens, like, visually, aesthetically, sound, is a huge deal. So I think yeah, better than books or movies. I don't know, because I think that they do a very different things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's hard for me to qualitatively rank one over the other, but I will say I've probably been more scared by games than I have by some of the scariest movies I've seen, I think.
What is one of your scariest games, just out of curiosity, or some of your scariest games?
Amnesia is always going to rank up there, just in terms of just sheer, like, I need to step into the other room for a second. Silent Hill 2, definitely. Silent Hill 3, I think, has more scares per minute than Silent Hill 2 does. That's another one of those, like, I need to go into another room, because they build it so much around kind of like set pieces and more kind of like intense display kind of things, whereas Silent Hill 2 is more like, let's get you really good and unsettled. It's a bit more of a slow burn. And then recently I've tried to make inroads into Five Nights at Freddy's and Outlast, and that has proven to be unsuccessful, because I haven't been in a situation where, like, oh, I can actually sacrifice being able to sleep tonight in order to play this. Like, I tried playing the iPad version of Five Nights at Freddy's in my bed, and that was a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah. No. The game is all about what exists just on the fringes of your view screen anyway.
Yep.
So, like, being able to imagine just moving your iPad to the side and seeing anything is not acceptable. Yeah. I think games scare. I don't know. I can't rank them objectively. Games scare me more than movies or books. Personally, just because I don't. Movies, like, I tend to slip into appreciation mode. Like, I get into haunted house mode, and, like, my most common reaction when something really creepy is happening in a movie is to laugh. And it's the same thing that happens in haunted houses, and it's just the audacity of how good something is. Like, oh man, and that's the reaction I have, and it is a fear kind of response, but it is a really pleasant one, And I've never been scared by a book, and I like horror books. I can get unsettled, but I mostly comb them for ideas. Like, again, I go into appreciation mode. Like, I'm just like, oh, that's a good concept. Like, that's a good concept, and that's what I get from it. I don't actually get afraid of it. A game, though, especially something that's like super immersive, partly because of the immediacy, like how close I am to it. I think I do a lot of PC gaming, so like when I played Five Nights at Freddy's or Outlast, just the fact that I'm so close to everything, even just physically, makes a big difference. And then also, you can pause a game, but a movie, I guess, like the thing I respond to in games is the contrast of control, where like I can control what I'm looking at in a game for large periods of it, and then when that control is taken away from me or something enters that space, it feels more jarring. Like a movie is taking me on a journey, but like something like Outlast, which does that thing where you have to slide between, into narrow spaces, and when you do so, you look to the side, you can't actually see, what's there, and then when you come out, sometimes there's creepy, unsettling things, and that always like does it for me. Just because like I'm like so used to being able to look where I need to look, and then when that's taken away from me, the contrast is like really, really jarring. Like the game is a really good haunted house with a dumb story, but it is a good haunted house to go through.
Yeah, like the best horror games are defined by what they take you.
Yeah, and I don't think that game is as good as Amnesia. Amnesia is like really the gold standard for me for horror games. Like Amnesia is great, and just like it does everything right, I think. So.
Yeah. I just got Alien Isolation in the mail this past week, and I'm very interested in, because I've heard some really good stuff, and I'm like an Alien nerd beside that, so I'm hoping it's going to live up to the hype that I've heard about it.
Yeah, I really want to play that very, very badly.
Me too.
Yeah. Cool.
I like being hunted, except in Pro You're Being Hunted. Then I don't care for it. Yeah.
Okay, I think that qualifies a little bit as a horror game. It's more of a tension kind of thing.
Yeah, there are horror elements to that. Like that game, like I mean, we don't need to go too tangenty because we've been recording for a while. But like we did in the most recent Comrade, we did like a look back on the years we've done, like what's aged well, what's aged poorly, and stuff like that. And like the game does not age well for me. I don't think I like that game very much. But.
Yeah. Let's see. Brad Carey asks a question that you might just have a very understandable answer of nope, not yet. Have you guys gotten around to playing A Link Between Worlds yet?
Nope.
Yes, the first dungeon. After I beat Phoenix Wright, that is on the top of my 3DS pile.
It's fantastic. I bought a 3DS. Well, I say I bought one. My wife gave me one for Christmas. The Zelda themed.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole thing, and it's fantastic. It is a great game. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to play it.
Yeah. It's funny because Brad was on the Link to the Past episode and he was like, "Oh, you guys totally have to play. You're gonna have to." I'm like, "Yeah," and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all both, if I remember right, y'all both really liked Link to the Past on that episode. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Link to the Past is one of my favorite games. Like the I want to play it. It's more like also for that game, like when you play on PC, you get averse to buying things for full price, and Nintendo games never go down in price. No. So like whenever I want to spend $40 on that experience is when I'll get it. Or if I get some gift cards floating around.
Yeah. That's the bummer. Like Nintendo's the only company that hasn't figured out that sales are a big part of their online store. Like they're getting really good at making stuff available, but they don't have that churn of deals to actually like incentivize you looking at that as opposed to going and grabbing a used copy somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the hypothetical yeah. Let's see here, and this is going to be the last question. Have you guys ever thought seriously about doing another show on the network that is not related to games? Gary, I remember you and Braden had talked about doing a show about crappy music videos. Did I miss that? I would love if Abject Suffering branched out to cover shitty movies, etc. too, with the same suggestion format. The show is basically culture commentary anyway, with a little bit of games thrown in here and there. The jump to movies / etc. Doesn't seem to be that much of a stretch.
Yes, we have. And they would just file that under the Crystal Chronicles stretch tier goal for Patreon. Like I would love to do another show with that. We actually got fairly far into I won't say too much in case we ever do it, but we got fairly far into the planning phase of doing a TV-based show. And I kind of kiboshed it because I was like, I'm working going at the time. I was like working going to school full time. Like I just can't do this. And our busyness has ebbed and flowed to where like. Now I think I would have a hard time with the bandwidth, and I think Cole would probably have a harder time than he would at the time when we first brought it up. So it is just literally just a bandwidth thing. Like that is on the fantasy list for podcasting full time. So and that wasn't necessarily bad things. That was more just like a chance to talk about TV. But that was going to be really cool, and we had a format that we really liked. So maybe someday we'll do that.
Yeah, it's in the back pocket.
For what it's worth, I would watch it or listen to it or read it or however you decide to put it out in the world.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's Abject Suffering is great just because, like you said, it's not only nominally about the thing we say it's about, so it's a pretty portable thing. I would worry that if we branched out to do like it's Abject Suffering, but for movies, we'd end up burning cast, just because like there are only so many opinions or like personal anecdotes or stories you can have about a thing. So to a certain extent, you can only have so many of those before you start robbing Gary to pay Cole or robbing Cole to pay Gary, like
The trick,
material.
if we wanted to do that, we would just have to roll other media into Abject Suffering.
Yeah.
Like it would just become Abject Suffering is about bad anything. You know, as long as it doesn't take that long to consume.
And we'd have to change the title to "Here, smell this."
Yeah. It'd be a different title. I think Abject Suffering still fits for it.
It does.
It does.
Hey, you smell this. But yeah, we couldn't do a separate show that was like that. But we could roll it in if we ever got sick of the game format. But the game format's nice just because, like, one, video games are popular and fun. But two, also, like, we control how long we play them. So if something's like totally unplayable, we can play it for 10 minutes, and then we can't do this.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it's a movie, if we did every time we recorded, we had to watch 3 movies on top of it. That would add a lot of extra time.
Yeah, totally would. And we also, like, if you look at the master spreadsheet of suggestions, like we went from having 3 years of actionable content, like, oh, here are 3 years worth of games we could talk about, doing an episode a week, and now we're up to 5.
Mhm.
Like this is like that itself is such a it's bad games are a completely non-depletable resource.
Yeah.
So like that is a very fertile ground, I think.
Yeah. Not that movies aren't, but just that there's no mother of invention for that and that kind of thing to it. So
yeah.
It would be fun. Like I think that like the way if we had to roll that in and just blue sky solutioneering, we have that $10,000 a month Patreon goal where podcasting is full time. I would want to roll something like that almost into an experience like this. Like if we did like a weekly like live show thing, and then just like we had like, oh, we're gonna watch this movie and part of it's gonna be talking about this thing, or we're gonna like watch this show and part of it's gonna be talking about this thing. Like it could be rolled into something else. Having just a separate problem or a project that's like this but for this, I don't think would work as much.
Yeah.
On the plus side, Teenage Dirtbag is totally still happening. It has evolved a lot now that Brayton lives in Portland, and we're just constantly goofing, and I think that people will like it. I think it will be very similar to the pitch in that like it'll have a very small number of dedicated people who like it, and then eventually it'll run its course. But it is a very funny idea, and we're going to start recording this winter, I think, and bank some episodes and stuff. I'm working on theme music and everything, but yeah, we're both pretty excited about it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Still partly about old or bad music videos, but also about like a lot of, we didn't take anything away from it, we just added to it. So it's about a lot of things now.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right.
Well, that just about does it. Thank you, everybody who asked questions.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, thank you, Jeremy.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. This has been a delight.
Yeah. Where can people find you on the internet?
The easiest way is to go to JG Greer, Greer on Twitter. And you can probably find everything else through there. That's probably the easiest way to point you to.
Cool.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
As we said at the middle of the episode, we're not going to be doing one of these Duckfeed Lives next month because our streaming bandwidth is going to be dedicated towards the Duckstream event for Transactive. Again, that is November the 21st and 22nd. Check out, let's see here, check out Duckfeed.tv/Duckstream to find out more details about that and watch us play some games and goofs and support a really good cause.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. I'm looking forward to just, I'm an old man now, so I'm just looking forward to staying up late. Yeah, I am. I'll be up until 6 a.m. and later than that, so that's going to be fun. Real goofy. It's after Rebirth comes out, so like, me and Nick are gonna be two people being super enthusiastic about something.
Nice.
So, and Braden has talked about getting drunk. Or I don't want to make it one of those things where like people encourage like people like watching people drink and like drinking can be a serious problem. But like we're like I can't drink, I'm gonna fall asleep, and Braden's like that doesn't count me, and he just keeps kind of hinting at it. He's not a huge drinker or anything, so it's possible it's gonna get real fucking stupid.
It's gonna get rowdy.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing in the best possible way.
Well, Jeremy, were you there? I told you the stretch goal, right? Or you heard me say what our stretch goal or donation incentive is?
No, I haven't.
If we make $1,000, Braden and I are going to face each other and shave each other like we're looking in a mirror, but shave one another's face.
Well, I guess I'll up my donation then, just to be able to see that.
You want to see that. And Braden uses like these fancy razors too. He was like dorking out about it. And it's like I don't want one of those fancy razors on my face or to cut someone else's throat with one, but here we are. We're doing it for the kids.
Good times.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to so my shift is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I'm looking forward to waking up like bright and early, watching the tail end of their stream, and then just sitting down with a cup of coffee and some eggs and just doing the morning horror stream.
You should I imagine you should wear a robe and you'll look like that Harry Nilsson album cover. You already kind of look like a little bit like Harry Nilsson with that robe. You just show up with a cup of coffee.
I do have a robe. I do have a luxurious terry cloth robe. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's no.
What?
I said, who don't have a luxurious terry cloth rug?
I stole it from my hotel.
I was just laughing because you said who don't. All right.
Cool.
Well, yeah, take it easy, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.